Hello Electro heads and welcome back to the channel. I am back on the channel as well, but more excitingly than my return, we have behind me a brand new offering from Lotus. Not only is this their first SUV, but it's also a fully electric SUV as well. This is the first of 3 lifestyle EVs that Lotus have got coming over the next few years. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lotus Eletre. So, where to start? Design language, first and foremost. We've got a lot of the design language from the Emira and the Avaya built into the front. And the first thing that actually strikes you about this car and what Lotus is really getting across with its recent designs is porosity. That keyword porosity, which basically means air goes through the car like so. And there's got kind of a layered approach at the front here as well. So everywhere you look, there is something channeling air through it, and you've got layered carbon fiber here. There's just so much going on. So you can actually poke your hand through quite a lot of the car. So I've lost my arm in the front there. Very interesting. There's active aero on the front of this car as well. So air is channeled through there. You can actually open and close these. It channels air through, keeps everything cold, and keeps you whizzing along nice and cool and efficiently. Very clever stuff. Lighting wise then, you'll see you've got this light bar up the top here, and you've got these here. This up the top is actually your daytime running lights, and these will go a variety of different color, and that will be used to indicate things like charging status and various other bits and bobs. Doing a light show as we speak. And this down here, this hidden away in this kind of scoop, that's your main beam. So your main headlights are actually in this bit here, kind of hidden away when the car's off. Really cool design and clever stuff. Not only does the carbon fiber continue around the side of the car, the tech continues as well. You will see this over the wheel arch. This isn't just for kind of some sort of washer that pokes out. This isn't for display. This is actually what's called LiDAR. This is to help with autonomous driving. This is the autonomous driving system. So as if by magic, that pops out. And you'll notice this has popped out up here as well. So what this is, and it's not even fully approved and legit in the UK yet, fully autonomous driving. That means that this little system here will be able to just send your car off down the road to go and park itself, and then you can bring it back and just kind of command it around with no one driving it. Now I believe China is approved and kind of ahead on the autonomous driving thing, but these cars will come with this system as standard. So when it's fully approved and able to be used in the UK, these cars will be one of the first on the road, if not the first, that'll be able to use this stuff driving around. Kind of scary, but kind of cool. And that LiDAR system is not just that and on the roof there, it's actually assisted by various cameras in here and all around the car. Really clever. And there's actually some of the LiDAR system on the back, which we'll get onto in a second. Also on the side of the car, you'll notice this. It is of course not a petrol cap. This is the charging port, as I'm sure you probably have sussed looking at that CCS charging port. Very standard stuff. And charging on this car, it is said that it'll do 18 minutes pretty much to a full charge. And the charging speed on this is 350 kilowatts. And Lotus actually say it will go up to 800, but that's irrelevant for now because there are no chargers even above 350. So full charge is pretty much 18 minutes. 1.8, bonkers. And we close it again. Perfect. Wheels then on this pre-production car, 23-inch, inlaid with carbon fiber. Now these won't be the standard wheels. You'll also be able to option them with 22-inch wheels and 21-inch wheels for those drivers that are slightly more curb hungry, shall we say. So these are the top of the range ones, and you'll also be able to option ceramic brakes on this car as well. Beautiful wheel design. I'm a huge fan of this setup, and the kind of the color scheme here with the Lotus badge, huge fan of it. Fantastic, great stuff. Coming down the side of the car then, we've got more aero. So I'm just gonna, don't want to put my watch hand through that. The air comes then through the wheel arch and down the side of the car, actually quite reminiscent of an F12 Berlinetta, where the air actually comes through the top, but really cool stuff. Down the side here, this is all carbon fiber. Not too hard or I'll get told off. This is obviously where all the battery tech is. The weight on this car is around 2 tons. You know, it is a Lotus and there is a lot of lightweight philosophy, which we'll see inside and going around the rest of the car. Coming down then the side, we've got these door handles, and they pop out, and they've got LEDs on that. Just spat on the car, sorry everyone. We've got the handles that pop out here as well. They've actually been seen before on the I-Pace. And at this point, I might be kicked out. But they look brilliant. And again, they fold away when you're driving, which maximizes aerodynamics and whatnot. On the side of the car as well, we've got more aero. So I can't get my hand in there, which I like doing on this car. Hello. The air comes down the side there as well, and onto some winglets, which we'll show you in a second. The carbon fiber continues not just from the sill, all the way over the arch, over these huge 23-inch wheels, and round onto this enormous carbon diffuser and the back of the car. The back of the car is one of my favorite bits. It looks unbelievable. First thing that strikes you are these two holes here. Now, I've resisted the entire video, but I'm going to make a fisting reference from the rear. Disgusting! Sorry. But you get the aero that goes the whole way through. You can actually see pretty much the whole of the back tyre through those holes. Now, the second most obvious thing at the back is, of course, this light bar here. Not just running lights, not just a brake light, but actually when you're charging the car, this will go blue, and from the center out, I believe, it will show you the percentage of the charge. Now, the numbers obviously aren't written on the bar, but you'll be able to see from your kitchen window, from your bathroom window, whatever it is, the progress of your charge when the car is charging outside, and that will go blue at the back there. Really, really cool stuff. Now, it's not just a static behind, you've got active aero here as well. So if it's as if by magic, you've got active ring as well. So that will actually go into different positions depending on the driving mode you're in. So if you're in like aggressive mode, it'll go higher, or, you know, there are varying stages of this wing at the back here. That is really cool. And me being a yob, if I was driving this, it'd be permanently up. I would have sellotape over the button.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. Sorry.
Lovely stuff. You've also got a very large boot, 400 litres of luggage space and boot space in the back. So can we open it up? Look at this. Clever stuff. You might be thinking, TG, that's not very space age. Point of reference here. This is a prototype car, this is a show car, and that is not actually production running gear on the boot. So the production car will open nice and quickly, okay? So no moaning about that, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, normal stuff. You got a button, it'll close, blah, blah, blah. 400 litres of boot space. Now, I'm not gonna alarm anyone by climbing in. There's various tech under this boot floor that I've been told by the guys here not to show and not to climb on. So ordinarily in my reviews, I do a professional climb in and I demonstrate the load capacity. Ah! Oh! Now the boot's open, you can actually see this huge piece of carbon fiber. And this part here, not only does that aid loading the car, but it also carries on the design language of this central partition that goes the whole way through the car, and the winglets as well. Just this kind of missing piece in the middle of the car, which harks back to Colin Chapman's thesis and kind of famous saying, there is nothing lighter than a hole. So really nice design language, and it really does accentuate this whole piece of carbon fiber here. It's all carbon, all of it, the whole thing. Absolute hell. Let's close that then. Good. The winglets then, this could have been an entire rear wing, you know, fixed across the top, but we've actually got missing material here again. Drawing in the design from the inside, drawing in the central partition, drawing in that missing bit there. Really nice design language, and it actually draws on things like Formula E cars as well, which have these winglets. Very cool. And Formula One, of course, which Lotus were involved in, blah, blah, blah. So then, the numbers. Range, they are saying it's 560 kilometers, so that's 350 odd miles. A lot, basically. 0 to 60, they are quoting, will be less than 3 seconds. You can get in this thing with a normal license, a 2-ton car, 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. That is absolutely bonkers. Now, the dimensions on this car, even though you've got that really kind of characteristic Lotus design language and it's very sort of cabin forward, very sleek, very streamlined, this car is enormous. It's absolutely enormous. It's 5.1 something meters long. We're talking Range Rover long wheelbase levels of size here. That is an enormous car. A normal Range Rover is 5 meters long. And in fact, a Taycan across Turismo is 4.9 meters long. Give or take. It's a big car lengthways. And not just that, widthways as well. It's about 2.1 meters wide. To give you a further idea then, the Jaguar I-Pace, which is similar sort of shape to this, is 1.895 meters wide. So this is considerably wider. And you might think, TG, an inch isn't much. But actually in London, that is really, really crucial. Width restrictions in London are usually around 7 feet, which is 2.1 meters wide. So this is as wide as quite a lot of the width restrictions I actually see on a daily basis. So one thing to bear in mind, particularly if you're sizing it up for your garage, I know I've got a very tight garage as well. This thing wouldn't necessarily fit side to side with another one inside a double garage. So wouldn't be a deal breaker per se for me. It's not a car that I would probably garage anyway, but that is worth bearing in mind. Very boring stats there, but I like things like that. Inside the car then, we'll start with the back first. You've got this amazing central partition here. It should be worth noting that whilst you can see the 2-seat configuration here, you'll be able to option this car with a 3-seater bench. So that will get rid of these seats and just put more of a conventional bench there. Boring stuff that I actually quite enjoy, you've got storage underneath this central partition. You've got these bonkers cup holders. You've got this central bit here where you press the button, it opens, and you've got this screen here, which does actually lift up here, and that will give you your stats, your charging, your music, your aircon. Everything in the car will be controllable from the back here as well. Not only that, but there's actually wireless charging underneath the screen on this little rubber mat here. Very smart. Not only that, but these seats here recline slightly. So I'm actually having a little chill. This is like being in a kind of like a little private jet back here. It's very nice indeed. It's really airy in here. You've got this huge panoramic roof here as well. All the materials in here are amazing, and this stuff here called Cadrat, I believe it's Cadrat, cock-a-doodle-doo, who knows, but it's made of this lightweight, hard-wearing wool blend. It is very, very nice, I must say. Everything in here is unbelievable. You've got a KEF audio system, you've got the tweeters poking you right here in this amazing champagne color. Just, they thought of everything. It's just really, really nicely done here. I'm a huge fan of it. You've got the AC/BC logos absolutely everywhere, and there's just really nice touches throughout the car. I'm really impressed. We're not done there though, because we've not even gone into the front of the car yet. Should we go in the front? At the helm then, we've got a very Lotus-esque steering wheel. We've got Alcantara, we've got flat bottom, we've got the chunky bits here that you would imagine you'd see on an Emira. That is really cool, and they've stayed true to their kind of core design language and their brand with that. It's a small steering wheel as well. It feels very sporty. Up above on the dash here, we're gonna get onto the lights and the tech, so you hold your horses. Up on the dash here, these two dash pads, if you like, it's not really a dashboard, they mirror the winglets on the back of the car, and again accentuates that design language that I was mentioning earlier with this kind of central partition and that feeling of kind of holes and things missing and lightweight kind of design language. Center of the dash here, we've got this amazing screen that moves, as you can see, as if by magic. That will tilt out the way when you're driving to kind of maximize your view of the central dash and obviously the road in front of you, and then it will actually come forward when you want it to as well. Below that, we've got this wireless charging pad, and you can put your phone in. Again, you've got the wireless charging pad in the back. You've got two cup holders that actually depress into the dash, and you've also got this central partition here, which opens up like so. Again, you'll see there's all sorts of lights and displays here. So the lights going around that you see here, that will communicate with you. Just like the lights on the front of the car and the lights on the back of the car, like what I was saying earlier with the charging, that will communicate with you. So whether or not you're charging the car, whether or not you put it into a different drive mode, those lights will signal to you what's going on. Even if you get a phone call, things like that. It's all about communicating with you, this car, with the various different lights on display. Speaking of displays, you haven't just got the one in the middle, you've got this passenger display on this side, akin to actually what you'd see in kind of a Ferrari in actual fact, that will read out your basic info, so your speed, your range, your direction, what music you're listening to, the phone you're connected to, all that kind of jazz. And also straight through the steering wheel at the front here, it will give you your driver basics. So again, your speed, your range, where the next charging point is, all the kind of stuff you need as a driver and nothing more. Driving position's nice, you're quite raised up, you can see a lot of what's going on. And also, of course, because this has got the electric mirrors, you can see the camera view there. I'm not the biggest fan of cameras and mirrors being replaced with each other, but as you can see, it works very well. And I guess it's just a case of getting used to them. It's a great base to be. I don't have any gripes. And really important with cars these days, again, I'm getting old saying this sort of thing, but storage. This is massive under here. You can pretty much put a laptop in there, to be honest with you, or your kid. I mean, I don't think you're allowed to put children anywhere other than, you know, authorized ISOFIX seats. But should you be stationary and you wanted to ram your newborn,
you're a psychopath.
There is enough space. Very good news in here. I approve. Another thing worth noting in here as well, the materials used. Everything that looks metal is. You've got the paddles on the back of the steering wheel, and that does things like regen. You know, all the stuff that EVs that you're used to doing is all controlled on the paddles. They're obviously not gears, there's no gears in this thing, but the paddles themselves, they're really, really premium. I mean, you feel like you could pretty much steer just using those. There's little kind of champagne gold touches everywhere, and everything just feels really premium. These camera mirrors then, there's an extra little bit of tech that hasn't been seen before in any other production car, as far as I'm aware. It will know if you're looking at the screen or you're looking directly in front of you. So when you're looking directly in front of you, that screen will dim, so as to not distract you as you're going along. But as soon as you look at it, it will brighten up again. Now, I haven't actually used that and tried it out on the roads, obviously, but if that works well, that's really good, because they are quite distracting when you're driving along, having sort of nonsense going on here whilst you're kind of trying to focus on the road ahead. So that's a really cool piece of tech, and it remains to be seen how well that actually works. But I suspect if Lotus have put that in, they know that it works. And I know there are other cars with eye recognition systems in them, so who knows? Really clever though. That then is about all we've got time for from the Lotus Eletre. The final thing I want to touch on, the big one, the crunch point pretty much, I'm sure you're all asking in the comments already, the price. Price for this car is going to be, and I quote, sub £100,000. So it's not going to be over £100,000. That's all the information I've got at the moment. And do bear in mind, there's going to be 3 versions of the Eletre as well. So there'll be varying stages of spec. Lotus have got several lifestyle EVs coming out. They've got the Type 132, which is what this is. They've got the Type 133, which will be a saloon, we are told. And they've got the Type 134 coming over the next 2-3 years, or whenever it is. So do stay tuned from Lotus for more exciting releases. But for now, let me know in the comments what you think of the Lotus Eletre. Personally, I actually love it. I was really worried, as I said earlier in the film, but I think they've absolutely nailed this. So exciting times for Lotus. As always, do subscribe to Electro Heads, and I'll see you all very soon. See you later.